Hi, welcome to R&B Convos, Relationship and Breakup Conversations with Trevor Trail Scott, a relationship and dating coach and author, and Dr. Jazz, a licensed clinical psychologist. We've joined our love of music with our passion for helping people with relationships and breakups.
Yeah,
Join
I can
us.
see you better this
If
time.
you like our content,
The last
please
video we
remember
did,
to
the whole
like and
time I was like this
subscribe.
because I could not see you. It was blurry. So I saw you for like a little bit and then it went back blurry the time we did the video before.
Yeah.
Remember I was like, I
Yeah,
can't
I
see
do.
you.
I remember.
Yeah. So it was clear for a little bit and then it went back to being blurry and I couldn't see you the whole time. So that's why like in the
But it
video
recorded right though.
it recorded right. So I was happy about that. But
I
the
saw
whole
that.
video I'm like it's like my face is so close.
Just hoping I see you.
Because I can't see.
Ooh.
Right. Okay. So we'll cover.
Let me
We'll
see.
do.
Let me see your nails.
Hmm?
Let me see your nails. I like that.
They're
Is that supposed to be left?
fall colored, huh?
Okay.
Fall
I like
colored
that.
nails.
No,
Listen,
I
when you
like that.
live in Florida with the sun all the time, I like to do the seasons by the way I dress. So when it's spring, I dress colorful. Summer, colorful. When it's fall, I go to fall tones like muted tone. Winter, like red and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I keep the seasons is with my clothes and nails because otherwise it's basically sunny. We had
The same.
a little bit of a cold front, but not much.
No, it's cold as hell. It's cold as hell. Yeah.
Oh, where you are?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not like frozen cold, but it was uncomfortably cold. Let's say that. Like you got to wear a coat.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm a summer baby. I like the sun. I'm an island boy. So
I'm a winter baby and I do not like the cold at all. Like, I like the snow when I don't have to
I like the
drive in
snow.
it. Yeah,
I like the
but I
snow.
like playing in the
I
snow.
don't like the. Yeah.
But yeah, working and living in cold is different. Like I went outside yesterday in a tank top, in with my gym clothes to
My
to
God.
go to workout.
I don't know what that's like, but I'm
You
working on
only
it.
know what that's like
We're
in the
working
summer,
on it.
in the summertime
I got,
for a little bit of time. So we can
we're working on it though. Can you
yeah.
hear me clearly?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
We can do a little bit of the trending topics and then we could talk more about the song. So the first thing I asked you about, or I know you didn't know what I was talking about, but right now what's trending is there's this girl who was friends with these two girls were friends, women were friends, and one of the friends took the other one's husband.
How long
And
they been married? Sorry.
I don't know, but they went to court. I didn't go into like a deep dive about the relationship. They went to court because the ex-wife sued the ex-best friend for alienation of affection. And it's
The ex-wife sued the best friend for alienation
of affection.
of affection.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Affection
did
of the
she sue?
husband.
The husband.
So
She
she
sued the
sued
husband.
no, you can sue. So in some states, not many, you can sue your spouse's mistress or side, whatever, for interrupting your marriage, or like causing a disturbance in your marriage and making your marriage end. And it's
all
called,
y'all doing
it's, you said what?
is making all they're doing is going to make more men shy away from marriage. Well,
I'm not saying
that was you saying. Wait, she's suing the side chick.
She's suing the girl. She's not suing the husband. But if it's your wife, you gonna end up having to pay. And I think she won $1 million and something was the judgment. Now I don't know if she's gonna get it, but yeah, it's like you have to prove that you had a happy marriage before the person came along and started doing whatever they were doing. You have to prove they had like some kind of intent to harm and break up the marriage. And then if you're divorced, and you can in some states sue for alienation of affection.
That's
Yes.
pretty insane.
You
I
said
don't
men are
even
not
know
going to
where's that going. Like, are they trying to? This has always been the case. Like, people can always sue.
I guess in certain states. I get
You
in
gonna make me
certain
talk to
states.
Zeta about it. I'm gonna have to ask my wife and ask her what she thinks about that because I don't really know what my opinion is on that. Like, if somebody infiltrated your marriage That I think of it as even when back in the day, when people like, oh, if your girl sleeps with a guy, you can't be mad at the guy, like, and it's vice versa with women. Like, what is that's between you and your wife, like that. No one can get into a front door you don't leave open. So
Yeah,
how legally would he allow you to sue your side chick? Like, if anything, that's crazy.
I kind
That's
of.
crazy. I'm sure they. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. You go ahead. You were about to say something else.
No, I didn't. I don't even remember exactly what I was going to say. I guess they're trying to deter. I don't know why that's allowed. I really don't see
Yeah,
how
I don't.
that's allowed.
I
It's
guess
not
it's. I don't know.
your
I
marriage is
guess
a
like
business.
yeah, kind of like it's not that it's just business, right? But yeah, it's a legal agreement and
Mhm.
contract. And just think about this: like if I don't want to use you and Zeta, I'm just thinking the couple, but I don't want to put this nowhere near y'all. If there's a couple
All
and
right,
they come
let's make up.
together, you're
Let's make
joining.
up a couple then.
You're yes, you're there's a couple and you're joining their finances together. They're probably like grown in a certain way because of each other, and then you come and disturb that. Like I do agree with you. Like I don't know, I don't know if I fully. I'm on the fence. It's like on one hand I understand because if someone made some kind of agreement with you, contractual agreement with you, and marriage is very serious, moral, religious agreement, and you're supposed to be building your lives together in a certain way. You have certain things intertwined and developed together. And then someone comes and you and that person disturb that and how that leaves you in the process of those two people doing that thing. But I don't know if the answer to that is to be able to sue them, and I don't know what the answer to that is, but is that
I
damaging?
don't either.
Yes, I think that's very damaging. I don't necessarily, I believe that the people that are married have more responsibility in their marriage, but I don't totally agree with this whole thing about, well, it's like when people are talking about how that when the side person is like, well, it's not my marriage. And if they can be taken, it's like, no, you're wrong too. Like you're not as you're not the person that the spouse has to deal with. In this case, they were friends, so it's different. That was her best friend. So
That's
you lose
crazy.
both relationships. So that's different in dealing with your friend over that. But if it's some stranger, no, you don't have to heal your relationship with the stranger. But I don't believe that the people that help like the side people, I don't believe you're blame free. As if you know, I think you have some responsibility to respect people's marriages. So like even if a husband or wife is cheating, yes, that's your husband and wife. They have to be responsible for they're responsible for their own actions. But for the person that says like, no, I'm not dealing with you when you're married, yeah, you have a responsibility to do that, I think. And then the person that does do it, it's like, well, it's not my marriage. It's like, yeah, but a person is married. This person had an obligation, commitment, responsibility. You didn't care because you thought it was going to benefit you in some way. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think they have the same equal responsibility for the marriage, but you have responsibility in that you're doing something that's dishonorable, like, and you know it, and you just because you're
Yeah,
benefiting from it, you're like, it's not my problem, and it is your problem. Like
but
you are helping.
if you're the side person, you're helping. Sorry.
Oh no, you're helping. You're helping create a problem that you don't
Okay.
have to
Yeah. Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, the connection. I think thought you stopped.
yeah,
I kind of agree, but that side person, like if I make you late for work right now, like we on this pod and I make you late and you get to work, I'm not getting reprimanded. That contract that with you and you're obviously self-employed as well, but that's between you and your person. That has nothing to do with me. So I'm saying that because I hate doing this. My kids got me hating that, but I can see both sides of that argument because yes, in a sound society, we're all watching each other's back and everyone's doing the right thing. But we live in a society where everyone is not doing the right thing. So you almost have to expect that the world outside of your cocoon is not in favor of you necessarily. I mean, you don't want to have that negative energy necessarily, but you have to. This is your contract. Anything outside of that is a threat, and you have
yeah,
to protect that
yeah,
cocoon from the threat. If
yes,
a threat gets in and you open the door, we have to acknowledge that you opened the door. That
Yes.
threat was there already there. If it wasn't that threat, it would have been another threat.
Yes,
You
I
have to.
agree. I'm not saying that the person who cheats can blame the person they cheated with. So I'm not saying that. Like, you can
I
excuse your
know. I
behavior.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
with
I
the
know.
other person. So yes, you're responsible for your own actions. I'm just saying that the other person is not guilt free. They can't blame ruining their marriage on you, but you're not free of blame of you being a person who's engaging in that activity. I think because people are thinking the first part, they dismiss the second part, which the first part is true. You ruin your marriage. You can't blame ruining your marriage on another person. That's on you. But to say this person is just like didn't do, like, oh well, that's just life. It's like, no, you're wrong. You don't have the same responsibility and obligation. You're not responsible for ruining their marriage, but you're responsible for being someone who's engaging in a certain type of behavior.
The side chick is suing the wife. This has wife is suing the side chick. It's not anything to do with the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But where did we get these rules for marriage? And it's crazy to me that as we get more knowledgeable and information becomes more available in our society, we start to look back and pull the veil back and start to see how the powers that be have kind of put things in place as a form of control, not necessarily in a satanic way. It's more so like, hey, if we're going to manage millions or billions of people, we have to kind of corral them in a certain direction. There's no way to have, just, let's create a society, let's create government, let's create. So there's all these things they put in place, and you look back now and you're like, I don't know if I really understand why we're following that. So
Yeah.
marriage is one of those things. Now, I'm 14 years married this December. I'm a fan of marriage. I've supported. But it just kind of the rules that are created, and it goes to this idea that a wife or a husband can sue the side chick or the side guy. It's like, who created this umbrella and this description of what love is? Like, why do we get this piece of paper to signify that we want to spend the rest of our lives together? And the more I hear when you bring up this topic, I'm like, yeah, marriage is really a business. And if I can
Partially.
prove that you interfered with my business flow or extortion or theft or something, then yeah, I could take you to court. So it just kind of makes me really look at the institution of marriage, and like, it's really business. Like, when it comes down to splitting assets, they're really pushing a lot of men to get away from marriage. Like, that's going to be the direction. It's already happening, but
Well, women are
that's going
moving.
to
I
be the
think
result
women
of
were
it.
moving away from marriage even before men. I think that's been happening where women are like, yeah, I don't want to sign up for this. But I understand what you're saying. And another, like, I understand what you're saying on the flip side. Men have been for some time like scared of marriage and what can happen as far as divorce and losing things and their kids and access and all that stuff. So that has been making them more wary and turning them off to marriage. Like, yes, the rules for
Can I
marriage.
say one thing on that real quick? I was just going to
Yeah, yeah.
say, I have seen personally women who are in the shoes of the traditional man, where a lot of men are scared of, even if I don't have a lot of assets, it's like, I gotta now give this and give that. And a lot of men, quote unquote, feel like they get the raw end of the deal. And I've seen a lot of cases where that is the case. But I will say personally, my wife and I have seen a lot of cases where the woman is that person and she has to now pay alimony. Or so I don't know what's happening in the court system necessarily. I don't know if it's necessarily balanced. But I do know personally, I can never say that it always happens where men end up in this position, because I know several women who are in that boat now that have to pay out or do something. You're like, wow, like, I didn't think this existed. The way social media and all this is projected, it's like, but still, but men still, you can see it online. That's still a fear. Men are like, well, what am I going to get from this? I don't,
That's
most
a
women
whole
initiate
other,
the
what am I going to
divorce.
get from this question comes from a whole other lack of just information and misinformation that's spread. Because actually, when they do all the statistics outside of when you're thinking about divorce and in money, and even that, like, that was done in a particular way because of what they gained due to being married, how their assets or income grew due to being married. And so they look at statistics to show does being married do for you, especially for men in the workforce and other stuff, that actually being married does a whole lot for them. And so and then when the women have the children and all that other stuff, and why certain stuff was split a certain way. But yes, as they're trying to make things, I guess, equivalent, the same thing can be done to women, because of course equality in that way, but not in other ways, like equality in ways where yes, you have to pay the same way men have to pay, but not equality in other ways. But this idea of like, what does marriage do for me? That's just a lot of ignorance around. And I think it's a partially like misogyny when people think like that, because it's like, what's the value of a woman? That's what you're asking, is like, what do women bring to me that I should want to marry one? And it's like there's a whole lot that they bring, but the fact that you're thinking of them in that way is like you're missing a whole lot of information to be thinking about women in that way of like, what can you really do for, it's like, what does a woman, if I can make money and I can cook and I can clean, what do you do for me? It's like, that's what you think women are. That's a whole other conversation. We could come back to that, or we could come back to that another time. What I was saying was, people that bring up that question, we could deal with that later. Of like, what do I
What
get
was the
from
question? What was the question
you
again?
said men say, what do I get from marriage? And I was saying that is a whole
Yeah, yeah.
question that is built on misinformation that's spread, and like not understanding the value of women. Because the things that you're counting as, I have that, I don't need that, that's not the value of women. Just like the same way when women are like looking at men to do certain things, like if you're not doing that, that's not the value of men. Like that is,
Yeah,
not
that's
this.
not at all. I agree.
Yeah, so I think people that ask that question, you're not informed enough to understand the value of just women in general, and then the value of a wife. That the things that
Yeah.
have been picked for you as what you need or should want are not even, they don't even begin to cover what you're dealing with when you're dealing with another human being, and what you get from the interaction with them, depending on the type of person they are. But I think that question itself is misogynistic, though. What do I need, like wife? Because the statistics show that men benefit way more from marriage than women do, in the ways that have been
So
studied. In their health, men that are married live
I heard
longer,
that.
women die
Hey,
younger.
hey, wait a minute. Listen, my wife be booking my doctor appointments like crazy.
Right, taking care of you. So men who are married live longer. They're better taking, their health is better mentally, emotionally, physically. Single women report happier, more fulfilled lives than married women. Men who are married report more fulfilling lives than single men. So they do a bunch of studies to show men, when they're married, it benefits their income. Women, when they're married, not as much. So yeah,
Hmm.
like there are things that men get.
So
Go ahead, what'd you say?
keep going. Sorry. No, no,
No,
no.
no, no,
There's
it's okay.
things that men get.
There's
Sorry.
just things that men get that they're not aware of, that they're being scammed out of, actually a benefit to them. They actually get a lot of benefit from being married that they're not being taught. They're being taught these red pill like things on the internet of people that don't know what they're talking about, and they believe it. And then so now they're turned off of something that's actually helping them a whole lot in life, keeping them healthier, happier. And so now you're actually being turned off by people that don't know what they're talking about, to be against something that actually benefits you more than the other gender. So you just really hurting yourself. like, like,
So the things that came to my mind as you were speaking, the internet is definitely tricking people out of their spot. I do believe that in the very near future, there's going to be a lot of people very regretful that they didn't spend the time, energy, and money to pour into figuring out their love life. Because as AI gets more and more advanced, it's going to be so addictive to be able to immerse yourself in a digital world that we're going to get far removed from connecting with people. And people like you and me, I believe, are going to go up in demand to the actual people are going to want to get back to learning how to connect with other people, because it's going to be, we thought social media made it bad. Just wait until you can immerse yourself in the world and you really feel like you're there and you don't have to go outside. You don't even prefer to go outside.
yeah, we're gonna be
It's
all
going to
sick.
get really bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad, and
It's
it's
going to be really bad.
unfortunate. People gotta wait for really negative outcomes to happen before they like understand this is not the route to take. But okay, so you
I
want to?
told you that because you said the value. Oh, sorry.
No, no, no.
This
Go ahead.
call.
I
Keep
think because
going.
because it's a slight delay. When there's a pause, you start to
Yeah,
talk.
I know.
But go ahead. Yeah.
My apologies. No, I was gonna say that the one part that I thought was I do understand what you're saying about men, and I'm probably one that, well, not probably, I'm one that agrees with you because I'm married and I'm happily married. So I'm the one that understands the value of my wife and the value that I bring and what we are doing for our children. I just showed you around the house the little thing, like, it's, I appreciate and understand that. And I do believe there are some men who ask that question from a standpoint of what is she doing for me. There are some men, because I know some that have asked me, who ask the question, "What does marriage do for me?" Not so much about what the woman and the value of the woman. It's more so about, again, this institution
The
of marriage
institution.
where you have to follow this particular process, and outlined by who? Because God didn't create this legal document. It's like, well, what exactly is the purpose for this? So, but yes, I do agree that obviously we're in a world that was dominated by men for centuries, and that's still obviously here, even though women have evolved past that oppression, so to speak. But still, men are still, dominant for the most part, and want to control things and have certain mentalities, which is going to be hard to shake in just 1 century.
Yeah.
It's moving toward a certain direction, but it's going to be hard to shake. It's engraved in almost men everywhere in every part of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, some men just act like, what is that institution doing for me? Because on the flip side, if they were just, you think about it this way, if I'm one of those guys, again, I'm married 14 years, so I'm not in this position. But if I'm dating this woman, I really love her, and I have all these, again, red pill, whatever this messages online. In my mind, it's like, well, I love her. I'm doing everything I would do for her that I would do if I was married. Why do I have to sign this paper? What is this paper doing for me? And I do understand that sentiment. Again, I'm not in that boat, but I've mentioned this before. We've talked about this before, like the when you get a letter notarized. Like if I have you and I write something down, we agree on something, and that piece of paper we sign it, it's cool and everything is on there, we agree on it, but when you get it notarized, that notary public stamps it, it becomes official, but nothing changed on the paper really. Like the content of the paper is still there. So even when in marriage and even dating my wife, before we were married, we got married, but nothing physically changed because I was still the same person to her. The marriage just kind of put the stamp on it. But when people are looking toward marriage, you're not going to change when you get married. Who you are right now is who's going to be waiting for you at that altar. So I do understand all of that. But again, with the suing thing, you just kind of brought it back because, like I said, somebody had a conversation with me, and it's like, man, this really is, we don't look at it as a business in our house, although we kind of do. We're like, we're setting up things for our family's future. I can tell my parents are setting up things for my future and my kids. So it's like, okay, we're running this family business. It really is kind of a business, but it's not just something you say. Like, this is documented, this is on paper, and anything that violates it can put somebody in jeopardy of being sued, which is crazy to me. He sued the side chick. What the fuck? No one's safe.
I'm
Man.
yes. Like I can't. I don't think I don't think my mind is fully wrapped around that or has an opinion. That's I don't know how I feel about that. But something you said that I wanted to come back to. Yes, that's the institutional part of it, the contract. And I think you do get benefits. You get like I think you get like certain tax write-offs and stuff like that for being married.
Yes.
So the paper part is the business aspect of it. And I think there's also an emotional security, psychological aspect to it too for people that is like you actually did sign this legal contract saying that yeah, because you can have a spiritual marriage where you don't go to the court and get, have a common law marriage. And so, yes, people can get married without the government. But I think like there's a security, emotional security, psychological security that someone is willing to sign that contract with you. And there is the business aspect of it that this is a contract, and the
Absolutely.
contract, I think the benefit of the actual contract is certain things that it gets you legally, or that you have a say so when this person passes, or like you're the person that is referenced for certain things. And they have those kind of disputes where the wife is like, I'm not giving money to these side kids and
Oh, you really froze. Hold up. Wait a minute. Can you hear me? Let's see if I can screenshot. Oh,
There. Oh, when you
I wanted to
screenshot, my face looks
screenshot.
crazy
Yeah, I wanted to show you because you were like,
because I was like, oh.
um.
I make
So
the faces I make. Oh my gosh. But
my wife and I both say you are. I'm sure you know this, but again, as a friend, I can say this and hope you can receive it. You are beautiful.
thank
Like my
you.
wife has said that before. She's like, oh yeah, the pretty one. Like, yeah, Jazz. You know Jazz.
Thank you.
But
Zach
anyway,
is
go ahead.
gorgeous. Thank you. Um so we have to move on. We have to move on to the we get stuck on the topic because we could just keep
That's
going.
fine. No, that
Let's
that
move
that side chick thing is crazy. I've never heard. I've heard that. Oh, well, one other thing too, real quick. But and I think you kind of alluded to this. But and my wife always says this: like that marriage piece of paper may not seem like much to some people, but if you really love somebody and you die, and they got to sit there and try to, and they're not married to you, and you're thinking that, well, if I die, my wife is going to be taken care of. Nah, them courts are going to you. That's not the right word. That courts are going to
take it
get
take
you.
advantage.
Yeah, take high advantage. So it may not seem like a big deal until that moment happens. And we've seen some people like that. And that is painful for, somebody like Laura London. It's like, is this the person that he really wanted to take care of? If it was, then it's like, now you got to fight for a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't even really have to fight for. It should have been automatically assumed, like right away.
Yeah, and that's
But
the business aspect
again,
of it.
I
You
see
are
both sides.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. We don't have to we can save the other topic for another time because I think it's relevant at other times. But let's talk about the song.
Okay.
Um,
I gotta say, Mario is he's a smooth dude, yo.
was that your
Yeah,
favorite?
I don't know. Jerry asked me what was my favorite. So clearly, it's funny. People will look at your post but never say anything, but they're thinking about it. But I have a friend that actually says something. He was like, "Yo, what's your favorite?" I was like, "I didn't think you would ask me that question." Now I gotta go back and like I'm thinking Jasmine will ask me that question. I'm like, all right. So, but he clearly likes it too. But I mean, maybe I related because Mario is a guy. But it's a well written song. It definitely reminds me of Beyonce to the left, to the left. It's like, why y'all gotta pack our boxes and fold our clothes? Do we not live here? How are you kicking? What's up with my guys, yo? We gotta own the house, bro. Like, how are you getting kicked out with your bag on your box on the curb? She folding your clothes. You ain't got nothing else but like, come on. What
It's
is going on?
on the surface it sounds like to the left, but it's not to the left. It
I know,
is
I know,
actually
I know.
yes. On the surface, the song it made me think of where it's really like "Come Get Your Stuff" was Pick Up Your Feelings" by Jasmine Sullivan, because that song is really like "Come get your stuff," and I'm done with y'all. Yes, I
That's a
love that
dope
song.
song. We gotta do
Right,
that one. That
she
was
was
dope.
done for real. She said, "Who's not
That's my joint.
new number? Who is this?" Like
Yeah, that was fire.
new
I like
phone.
that.
Who is this? So that's a really like I'm done song. This song is not that.
No, I
This
like that
song
song.
is fake.
I like that
Come
song.
get your
And
stuff.
she sang with like a rasp in her voice too. Jasmine be killing it. We saw her live.
Oh yeah, she is out of this world. Um, but Kehlani is not really done. She is not really done
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
song. She's like low key saying like, "Yeah, I want you back. Um, come get your stuff." But the stuff is not. It's not. She
yeah.
folded. Yeah, she's not. She wasn't standing on business. She folded. And she's like, "Oh, come." She's
Like the
gently,
clothes.
like,
He
nicely
folded like the
asking, "Did you
clothes.
really come get your stuff? Like, it's still open. I'm still open. Like, what do you want? It's up to you." It's not really like a closure song, but
Yeah,
I liked all the versions for different reasons. I got excited when you said Mario because that was actually my favorite. And I think the reason why it was my favorite is something about the way he was blending his voice with hers, where it sounded like they were really singing together and off of each other.
yeah,
I think that's why I
yeah,
liked his and he sings really well. But I think that was why I liked that version the most. As far as like sonically, it was doing something different for me than the other songs. But all of them were great. Like Brandy did her like the '90s layering thing that she does, where she
yeah,
harmonizes it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I like Toni Braxton.
I
Toni
like
Braxton
Toni
was very
Braxton.
sensual and sexy
She
with that. I was like,
that's her whole
random.
attitude.
Like Toni? Like where did Toni come from? I did not expect Toni Braxton. I was like, okay. I thought it was like AI. I'm like, Toni, she looked young. I'm like,
She
this
looked like
ain't really
Kerry
Toni.
Washington.
Toni,
She looked like Kerry Washington to me with her little curly
I can
fro.
see that.
I
I
was
can
like, it
see
looked
that.
like Kerry
Yes, I can see
Washington
that. I can see
dancing.
that. I can see
But
that.
I like Tony's
I
message.
definitely like how she jumped on there. I did not expect her. Brandy, I didn't expect either, but Toni was like, she's
Yeah,
been
Tony
quiet
was
for a while.
unexpected.
Like,
Yeah, Tony was unexpected. I like Tony's message. Tony's message was my favorite, which is like, no, if you already been through this and that with them, tell them, let them come get their stuff for real and move on. Like, don't
yeah, yeah,
force.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked, but maybe because I'm auntie age, I was like, yes, Tony, like, no. Like,
Auntie
that's what she said. She said she was talking to her. She called herself auntie and she referred to Kehlani as like niece, like some
Yeah,
older
yeah,
person
yeah, yeah.
giving
I
you
saw that.
advice of like, no, don't do it to
Yeah.
yourself. Because like in the well, we could talk about like going back to Tony's message, but I like Tony's message. I like JoJo. I love JoJo actually, and she sings.
What
She
was her?
hits
I
the
don't remember her.
JoJo has the high pitch. She sang the second verse, and she was
I just
really
don't remember what she said. I don't remember the
she was
lyrics to
talking
her joint.
about how the laundry, the smell of the laundry reminds her of them being in the bed. Like she was like, and she was really pleading for them to come get their stuff. Like Kaylani was
Okay,
like
but
low key trying to be cool about it, and JoJo was like, "No, you need to come home. Like you need
but
to."
they're all saying that they want to get back with that person.
Yes, they were all well.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
because I think in the song Kaylani,
Except for Toni.
except for Tony, she's like, "No." In the first verse, it sounded like Kaylani had broken up prematurely, but then in the second verse of Kehlani's song by herself, it's like, oh, now I started to understand why. Where she's saying like, I need you to keep your promises. I need you to like, I'm begging you to love me. Like she was like, I shouldn't have to beg. And then she's like, you don't have to buy me roses, get flowers out my garden. Like, no, like, no, like, no. Like sometimes women,
Yeah, let's
I've
save
met
some
my,
money.
huh?
Yeah, let's save some money.
It's not even no, it's not that. It's yeah, you play too much. You don't mean that at all. She said that out of your mouth.
I'm
She's,
not doing that.
she said,
I wouldn't do
I
that.
have a problem with people. Well, I don't have a problem. It's an issue when you think that you're just going to make something so easy for somebody that they're going to be how you want them to be. No, they know how to do that. They're just not doing it. They know how to get
Yeah,
you flowers. You shouldn't have to get the flowers for them to give to you. Like,
that's wild. I
yes.
know some people. I'm some people like appearances, so they'll do something like that to
If you
look
have
good on social media.
say that again.
To look good on social media, like they'll pay
Oh,
for something and
that's
act like,
gross.
oh yeah, such and such got me this.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that's crazy. But that's
Yeah,
crazy on a different
I
level.
li-
But I think like what it is you sometimes people confuse expressing yourself or letting a person understand what you like by just sharing certain stuff with them different than like actually having a coach and beat it into them what you want where you're giving them this whole map of and they still won't follow it and it's because they don't want to like
they don't
so
want to.
yeah they don't want to. It's not an issue of they don't understand how to do things. They are not trying to take the initiative because they don't want to. So you trying to make it easier is not going to help this situation.
No, personal motivation is no. What I was gonna say, one of the reasons I like Mario's, it's I think I've always been a fan of Mario, but I think after that verses with Omarion, and I saw him online recently talking like the way he talks about other singers, it's like it's such an arrogance. It's not arrogant. It's such a confidence that I really appreciate because he can actually sing. Like they asked him about Bryson Tiller the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not looking at Bryson Tiller for vocals." He's like, Bryson Tiller's cadence, his lyrics are amazing. He's like, but if I sing a Bryson Tiller song, it's gonna sound a lot different than Bryson Tiller singing a Bryson Tiller song. And I'm like, he's not even trying to beef with anybody. He's just like straight up, like
He's just saying
y'all
this is
can't
how I
sing like
feel.
me, bro.
Yeah.
And even Omarion, he dissed Omarion and what's the guy that sings Birthday Sex? Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
Yeah.
He
Jeremy.
was playing them out while they was singing on stage. He was like, yo, stop. On stage, he was like, yo, stop, stop. And then he
That
come on
verse
stage
is
and kill.
what?
I'm like, so I appreciate like his version of singing. Like, whatever he puts out for the most part, unless he really screws it up, I'm not, I'm going to be a fan of it. But
His problem is
I
not his
do like.
music.
Now that I think about it, I know what you mean. How he blended the voice. It was like toward the end of his verse, I can actually hear. If I'm not mistaken, toward the end of his verse, I felt like he blended with her voice. I think I can hear that. But yeah,
It
I
was
think
like a
Mario is probably
call
my
and
favorite.
response type of thing. Like she would say something, he would say something back, and that's what I was like. Oh, it sounds like they're actually singing this together. Where the other people they're singing the same song, but it didn't seem like it sounded to me like they were having a conversation the way he did his
Yeah,
verse. But Mario, yeah,
Mario's probably my favorite.
I became a renewed fan of his voice during the verses because I was like, yeah, he just killed them with outright singing. Like he was
Yeah, he.
singing, but he gets in trouble in other ways that doesn't have to do with his voice. He gets in trouble with the way he explains his preferences racially dating. That's what gets him in trouble. And if your fan base is black women, you got to watch how you talk about what you like and don't like, and or how you even address people's misconceptions about because maybe they're wrong about what you like, right? Because you dated a person of a different race doesn't mean that you don't like black women, but you need to be careful how you talk about that when your fan base is black women. So that's what I think has hurt. Was more of his issue, but his voice, like his songs,
I like how you talk shit.
yo,
I
you
like
talking
how
about
you
his
talk shit.
confidence?
He like,
Yeah.
if I sing a Bryson Tiller song, it's gonna sound different than Bryson. I'm like, that's just, dude. Like, you're gonna cause friction. He like, nah. Like, but he's definitely different. Like, for sure.
Yeah,
And so what do you think about? Because obviously, one of the things you text me. Sorry, because I don't want to be dry lipped online looking crazy.
it's
You
okay.
gotta
You
tell me
can be
too. If
ashy.
you
You're
like,
black. What are you doing?
well, now
You
my lips
can't
can't
be
be
ashy and
ashy.
not ashy lipped. Oh my gosh. We
Yeah,
don't get on
nah,
here like
that I get
Tyrone
crucified.
Biggums. I didn't see that, or I would have said that.
Nah, so one of the things you mentioned when you sent me the topic on this song was about closure,
Oh
and
yeah,
the more I'm hearing it, it's like, are these people calling you over? They're not really trying to get closure; they're trying to get you back.
yeah. They're trying to use something to pull you back in, and well, the come get your stuff, but also come get your stuff. So she was
You know,
over.
I remember that feeling of going to get my stuff, and it wasn't Kehlani. It wasn't like a reunite, so it wasn't that. But it was like, come get the rest of your stuff type of thing. And I do remember feeling like, I won't say that. I just remember feeling like a certain level of love and respect, as if it was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here to get your stuff for the last time. Like, we really appreciate each other. Like, we don't hate each other, but we're really doing it. Like, this is done. You already moved out, but you're coming to get the rest of your stuff.
Mhm.
This is it. And that has been it. It's been a long time. It's been almost 2 decades, almost. Well, not almost 2 decades, but it's closer to 2 decades than it is to 1 decade. But I don't know what that would have been like to come back there, and then that was like the plea to get back with me type of thing. I don't even know if that would have worked for me at that time. I think I already had my closure.
I think
Or
it depends
maybe I
on the
thought I had my
situation.
closure, and maybe if a little weakness hit me, I wouldn't have. I would have folded. I don't know at that time, but I thought I pretty much had my closure. When I went back to that my place, it was definitely a mutual respect. Like, yo, I love you. I'm gone, but I love you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, I love you, but this has to
Sitcom is
end.
over. But yeah, that's. What were you thinking when you heard this song? Because what closure popped in your mind, obviously.
I think like personally, when I hit the point of being done, I said this to you before. In the past, it used to take me too long. So by the time I got there, there is no. I've never done that in the sense of like, say, come get your stuff, or but I really want to do something else. If I'm saying come get your stuff, I really mean come get your stuff. Like I'm Jasmine Sullivan. Come get your, pick up your feelings. Like I'm done. I've had like other experiences where the situation wasn't like I'm so I've never called anybody for that reason. If I'm seeking closure, I'm somebody that typically, this is one of my issues that I've worked on and I still need to work on, wanting to be understood. Like if I'm having a closure conversation, I want you to understand why things went the way they went from my perspective, of what I think you did, good or bad. If I think you hurt me wanting you to understand that, and why. Usually it not usually, but it might have something to do with feeling guilty over ending relationships. Like I have a guilt over ending relationships even when they need to end, which is one of the other parts of that I work on. But yeah, so my closure conversations have just been wanting to be heard and understood, which depending on who you're dealing with, they don't care how you feel anyway. So I've had to get used to just not knowing that I'm not always going to get that conversation of someone listening to, this is where I stand with this, and why, and how I feel about it, or how I feel about what you did. But I've folded in other situations that weren't that. Like I'm not gonna say that weren't that. Like, but if it's a closure thing, no, it's not a. I'm not folding in that situation where I've said like I'm done. Not typically. It wouldn't be a situation where I'm trying to entice you back by saying come get your stuff. Like if I say come get your stuff, yeah, it might be outside. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't put it outside.
So I think the closure conversation really, how easy it is, it really depends on who's ending the relationship, right? Because if I'm ending the relationship, I still may need closure, especially if we were close. Like I still may need some sort of closure, even though I might be ending the relationship because I feel like I have to, but there's a part of me that still wants to be with you. So I can see there's still needing to be some sort of closure. But the person who's being broken up with, they're usually the one that's like, you know, looking for some, like, well, what I feel like human beings, I read this somewhere. Um, we like we like to believe that we're creatures of hope. So we like to believe that sometimes something is our fault. Because if it's something that was our fault, we might be able to fix it. Like I might be able to do something like, let me just, come over. I got your clothes folded. Come over, come on over. And let me just get your clothes real quick. You feel like you could do something. It's hope. I did something wrong. But if you didn't, if they're the ones breaking up with you, I think they're always left. And a lot of times, even when you're trying to find closure because they broke up with you, maybe you're getting some answers for them, but maybe it just doesn't add up to you, so you don't have the closure. I don't know, and you have to deal with people with this, I'm sure. How do you get closure if you can't talk to the person? Like if there's not a conversation to be had, you almost have to go to that topic, stop making up shit. You almost have to make up something in your head and force yourself to believe it because you can't really confirm it or talk to this person because maybe they don't want to talk to you. Maybe they don't want you to get your clothes from their house. Like, nah, don't come over. It's over. That's hurt. That's painful.
Yeah, I think with the actual, not the Kehlani folded type closure where they're not really seeking closure, but they're seeking to reconcile. I think like that thing is the withdrawal that you go through when you're grieving and missing somebody. And so that kind of like withdrawal that you go through when you're trying to break up with somebody, and then now you're alone, and now you're thinking about like all the good stuff and how you're going to miss them and how your life is about to change, so you don't really walk away. That's what she was talking about. But what you're talking about, even sometimes when you get the conversation, you don't feel like you understand or were heard or were validated. Like I think those conversations are about feeling validated. It's about feeling like the other person cares about you, because it's like you have all this time and energy you put into them, or you think you did, and this is ending. And that kind of like termination of an attachment or detaching is very hard to do sometimes, even if you want to do it. Some people, it's not hard when they want to do it, but for some people, it's not really what they wanted to do. They had to do it. So it's like, so there's a lot of like, I think that it's about sometimes validation. I think it's about feeling cared for, and knowing like you still matter to the person and they're not just like dismissing you. But sometimes when you can't get that from a person, it's understanding that that is enough. Like if a person doesn't want to be with you at that point, you got to do what you have to do to move on. You have to accept like whatever you thought it was or was going to be, it's not that. And you have to come to terms with that and understand why that, however it ended, where you didn't get to speak or do whatever, thank you. So now I can focus on continuing my path in the right direction, because this wasn't it, or maybe this was just the stop, on my way. But yeah, I think that if you can't get that conversation, sometimes writing what you feel like you need to be heard, and understanding why you think it needs to be heard, and sometimes thinking about what you think the other person is going to say might not be what they would say back to you. So maybe saying it to them doesn't need to be, maybe it doesn't need to be said. But I think when you can't get that I think sometimes people also use closure as a way, again, just to like have a reason to reconnect or keep the person in the energy longer. It's like they didn't give it to me. They want to stay in that space of the relationship and being like grieving. And it's like, well, they never gave me closure. It's like, what do you think you need from them to move on? And in my opinion, it's usually about validation and feeling cared for, that they need to know before moving on. Like they need to know they matter. They want to know like you cared. They want to feel, again, understood. I wanted to feel understood. I think it's that type of stuff, and sometimes it's recognizing you're not going to get that from them. But do you understand what's going on, and can you move on if you don't get that? Did you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You got a
There we go.
superpower. You got a superpower. You got a superpower. Because you were frozen on the screen, so I just saw your big green eyes, and I was just looking like, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a
Okay, but
superpower. If I had green eyes, I'd be so dangerous, so dangerous.
you wouldn't
Oh
even
my
be
god,
thinking about it. I don't think about it at all until somebody else says something.
Girls would have been telling me all my life, "Oh, your eyes are so pretty." I'd have been
You,
dangerous.
I
Green
didn't even
eyes or
think
6
about
feet. I would have been trouble. 6 feet or green eyes, forget it. I'd have been
the same way you
not
don't think
married.
about whatever it is that women say to you or are attracted to. You don't think about you.
I
I
know what
only
you
think
mean.
about the
I know what
color
you
of my
mean.
eyes when
No,
people say stuff.
I got it. But you was just stuck on the screen for a minute, like.
It's like, yeah, eyes all big.
I-
But what do you want to say about that? Like if you don't get the conversation.
I mean, I'm a big fan of. I understand that most of closure comes from your perspective and the meaning that you give to the events that took place, whether it be the relationship or the breakup. Um, no plug intended. No plug intended for the pod. But you, most people are never gonna get a full, honest conversation. Maybe a few years after, but like right after, I feel like you're not gonna get the full perspective because they don't even really get the full perspective of what just happened. They get a perspective, but a lot of us have a lot of reflection years later and understand on a deeper level where we were and where they were, to the point where even when we want to blame them for something, if you ask us years later, we're like, you know what, it was me. I should have been better. You know what I mean? Like, but they wouldn't give you that answer when you first broke up. So I think closure might be overrated, or having a conversation with that person, I think it is important. I don't want to say it's overrated. If you can get one, if you can get an honest conversation, that will change a lot for you. It probably hurts more, but an honest conversation, which I know I got, looking back, it was what allowed me to respect her. It was the honest conversation when we were going through our turmoils that made me respect her. It was like, you could have lied to me, but you told me the truth. You told me how you felt. You told me what I was doing wrong. You told me what you didn't like. You told me what I used to do and I didn't do. And it was like, damn, I never even thought of that. I thought I was doing everything right. And here I am pointing fingers. But you might not get that same perspective from me right in the moment because I'm firing off like, get you wrong and you did this. And so I think understanding that we give meaning to a lot of things that don't have meaning will allow you to get through a breakup quicker. Meaning that there's some things in the relationship that really affected you in a negative way, but if you change the way you look at it, not force yourself, but just maybe even have a therapist have you look at it from a different perspective, you'll realize that your whole physiology changes, your whole body change, your biology changes because you don't feel that way about this pain anymore that you once did. And I think that's the value of therapy. That's the value of having someone outside of you just provoke you to think differently, just to push you a little bit. Like, hey, like, where did you get that frame of reference from? Like, why do you think that? Like, what made you come to that conclusion? Like, what from your childhood is causing you to think this when nobody else around you is thinking that? Like, you have this whole thing in your mind about why this relationship broke up, why they didn't want to be with you, and now you don't have closure. But you probably don't even need the closure if you could just realize that you made up a bunch of shit that you're mad at. Like, you don't even need closure. Just don't make up the stuff that you made up about the
You
relationship.
need to close the
Like,
stuff in your head.
you need closure from your own imagination.
Right.
Like,
Closure.
me too. This is all of us. Like, well, me, I'll
Yeah.
speak for me, but you make up a lot of stuff in a relationship. Like, you're like, yeah, this person, they don't love me because they don't do this. That's not true. They love you with all their heart. They just show love differently. You can't say in your mind that they don't love you because now that's
Yeah.
creating a whole story in your head that you're going to need closure from years later. You don't
Yeah.
need, they love you. Y'all are just speaking different languages. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. So perspective is so key, but um, yeah, calling somebody over, acting like you want closure to get them back. I love the idea. I love it. I'm coming over to get my stuff, and you want to like, yeah. I mean, but I'm saying that in general because I don't, there's no ex in my mind that I would want to get back with, so I don't really have that personal thing. But yeah, we broke up, and then I want you, like, you want me back. Like, I like feeling, maybe because I'm a guy. I like compliments. I like to feel like, not because I'm a guy. Maybe that's part of my love language, but I like to feel like I'm important, or you admire this about me, or you like this about me. So if especially if you broke up with Kalani and she's calling you over to get your stuff, that's not as exciting because you almost like you can keep my stuff. Like, what shirt I got? What shirt do I have over there?
Yeah.
Oh no, you
What's
can
up
keep that
there?
one. You can throw it, just throw it out. Don't even worry about it. But if she broke up with you and that's not what you wanted, then that phone call to have that closure is what you were waiting for. So
Yeah. Yes. Okay. That brings me back because I forgot to mention the other people that did the song. So it's two things I wanted to say. Go ahead.
okay,
It's two things I want
no,
to
no,
say.
I'm done. I'm done. If that was what you needed, let's go.
Oh, so yes, I think it was that Mario responded like, "I've been waiting for you to call me. I'm coming right over." Like
That's
that's
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
Neo was arrogant. Like I've been out of
I
town. I'm
forgot
just
about
gonna
Neo. Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
stop
he wasn't in the
by.
video. That's why he didn't do a video.
No, he didn't. I had to.
He didn't do a video.
I tried to put something together to put his. But he was like, I'm gonna stop by. You're gonna be all dressed sexy for me. Like he sounded arrogant to me. But maybe
Yeah,
I think I have a bias now towards Neo because he has
yeah,
all
because he
his
got that.
girlfriends. Like, and you can have all your girlfriends, but I think maybe once how I thought about him is not how I think about him now. So the love songs don't mean the same to me. But I need to get
That was his old life. That was his old life.
Sir by. Um, so maybe I'm biased towards Neil, so I have to be honest about that. But he just sounded
Three
arrogant. But
wives is crazy.
Mario was
Three
the one that
wives
was
is
like, I
crazy.
just been waiting for you to let me know. I was respecting your space. Here I come. Like, it's just like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
JoJo was pleading for her life, like, please get over here. Tank turned it into a whole sexy
yeah. He
seduction
slowed it down.
type of song. Tank was like, I'm just gonna
So
take
I
over.
mess with Tank. I mess with Tank. Music wise, lyrically.
Tank is, and again, all of them, I love them. But yes, Tank was like, listen, this is my song now. This is what we're doing with this. Like, he just changed it. So the other thing that was the first thing I wanted to say was you reminded me of why, like, one of the reasons I liked the Mario version. And I did like an honorable mention to Trevor Jackson. He wasn't part of the pack, but he did like a rap type of thing. And then, but when he went into singing, I was like, oh, okay, I really like that. Um, but the second thing I wanted to say that you made me think of what when you were talking is yes, because a lot of times when I wanted about time, you talked about time, having time to process, experience to process, perspective. And yes, now when I think about it, the first thing I would want to say when breaking up is not how I would, the things I would say or feel about it weeks, maybe the next week. 2 weeks from then, three
Yeah.
weeks from now, I would still be processing what happened about it
Right.
ending. And so your initial even reaction of the emotion or whatever is there is not even the full like you need time to process what is taking place to even actually have a good closure conversation. And I guess like people are in a rush though, because it's like, do I call you 3 months from now saying I thought about this breakup and now I want to talk about it? It's
Yeah, I
like
want to
that.
talk about it.
Yeah, it's like usually right after is the only time you're kind of given in your mind. Maybe they would talk to you about it in 3 months. But I think for people, it's like, if we don't talk about this now, where I might never ever talk to you again. So
Yeah.
like,
Right.
let
For sure.
me get my feelings out or hear, or I want to hear how you feel. And I think sometimes, again, in those conversations, they're hoping to hear something from the other person, which you're not in control of. You're not, you can't, you don't know what they're going to say to you if they say anything. But I just wanted to say that, like, when you said that, it rung a bell in my head. Like, yeah, like when I have those conversations, when I wanted those conversations, I would even be adding more to it or changing something as the next day, because I tend to write out how I feel so I can look at what I'm saying and what I'm thinking. I'm a, I've always
Uh,
been a writer. Like I always have liked to write. So that helps me process me writing out the things that I want to say, things that I'm thinking. But yes, it was that. Like that's a very good point that you made, that you need time to even process and even grow to fully understand what just took place.
if I had a conversation, my last ex was like almost 16 years ago. If we had a conversation right now, you know how insightful that would be. You know, compared to 15 years ago.
Much
Mind you,
more.
haven't spoken 15 years. It's just like talking to somebody who was grown 15 years. It's kind of like, oh wow, like we were the things that we were annoyed about back then, the things we were angry about, it didn't even make sense. Like now that we're so mature, it's like, why was that an issue? You know what I
And
mean?
your
So
emotions are removed from it.
say that again.
And you have more emotion removed from it. So you could be more.
The emotion is gone. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a better analysis of yourself. Because listen, if you could talk to all of your exes and get an authentic audit on yourself, you would gain a lot. Not necessarily change. You may not change anything about yourself. You may say, no, that's exactly who I want to be. But if you can get an authentic audit from your exes, you would learn a great deal about yourself. But that audit would have to come not right after y'all break up. It has. I think that person needs to grow as well, to because that audit, they may be turning to you and pointing out things that were wrong with you. But as they mature, they may switch. If they will go back and say, I was pointing out all these things that are wrong with you, there was nothing really wrong. Like that was me and my immaturity and my view of you, and it was poisoned. My view of you was poisoned by my self talk, and that is what ruined the relationship. It had nothing to do with you.
I will
But
say,
you know,
I'm proud of myself in the sense when I hear that, when you just said that, I have had exes come back years later and say, I was out of my damn mind the way that I was acting and treating me like that was
I was
crazy.
out of my mind.
Like not out of my mind, like I was dead
No,
wrong. Like
yeah, yeah, I know.
yeah, just but it took them a while to get to that space of being able to even apologize and see what they did wrong, and they didn't still even to see everything. But yes, like but
How did
yeah,
that make you feel?
it.
How
I
did
was
that
glad that
apology
by
make
the
you
time they
feel?
gave
I'm
it
just
to
curious.
me, I was glad that by the time they gave it to me, I didn't even need it anymore. I had already come to terms with, you may not understand what you did, but I
Still,
know what you
did it
did.
matter at all to you?
It. I was glad in a sense that they did it. It was like, thank you, right? Thank you, but I didn't need it. But it was like, thank you for admitting that and acknowledging that, because that's not always easy to do. You could have just went on
With your life, yeah.
with your life and not acknowledged it. So I appreciated the acknowledgement of it. So it mattered, but I'm so glad I was in a place where I didn't need it by
Were
the
they trying
end.
to get back with you?
No, they were.
So
Well, yeah.
that so
Sometimes, not everyone. Some of them still want chances, but
yeah.
or at the time of the conversation they wanted chances, and some of them no, they were just acknowledging that they did wrong. Yeah.
That's huge. Well, for me, it's huge. I did that. Like I called an ex way back, three like back when I was in college or just left college. But I had called an ex. It was like maybe a year later, and I kind of poured it out like, "Yo, I completely dropped the ball." And it wasn't me trying to get back with her, but she didn't enjoy that at all. Like she was pissed,
Yeah.
and probably more so pissed that we weren't together. Not saying that she wanted to get back with me. It was more so like, yo, you wasted my time and my energy, and I gave you all of me, and then this is what you do to me. So, so even me call a year later just to say, hey, I just want to be clear that even if it's only a year, I matured enough to know that I was horribly wrong. That didn't matter. She's like, yo, why the fuck did you call that? I'm like, oh my God. So the closure was more for me
For you.
to
Yeah.
not just so that I can say to her, like, yo, you did your thing. Like you did your thing. I wasn't ready to receive it. Didn't matter to her. Like went off to the point where I was like, let me hang up. like
You
this
always
did not go where I thought it was going to go. And part of me, this may be selfish, but part of me looking at all the years going by now, I think she had 3 children. She was married and now divorced. She probably was like, I'm in this new life and I had this all set up for you and you fucked it up. Like
Yeah.
you purposely fucked it up. So I'm here, I'm happy here, but I shouldn't have had to switch to it. Like this was already set up. I'm doing this all over again because of you.
Yeah.
I felt that. So when I got off that phone, I was like, it didn't go what I thought it was gonna do. I thought maybe because I didn't want to be with you, but I can acknowledge that as an adult, like that didn't matter. Nobody. It reminds me of Cam and Mace. I don't know if you ever see that show. Their show, It Is What It Is
I
on
see clips
YouTube.
of it.
Okay. Anyway, I don't watch it all the time. I see clips as well, but I'm a fan of Cam and Mace. But Mace told his story about when he first got the Bad Boy. He came into the studio and he had some fresh white sneakers on, and Puff. You saw that? You saw that
Yes.
episode? Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, nobody wants to hear like Puff went
Well,
back
say what it
outside,
is in
came
case
back in.
somebody watching didn't see the
Oh,
episode.
huh? I didn't hear you.
I said, say what it was in case somebody that watches didn't see that what you're talking about.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Sorry, it broke up again. No, but Mace had come into the studio with some fresh white Nikes on, and Puff had white Nikes on, but Mace stepped on his Nikes by mistake, and but Mace's sneakers were dirty at the bottom, so Puff's brand new sneakers were dirty. So Mace was like, yo, my bad, my bad, my bad. And Puff was like, all right, cool. So Puff left the studio, went outside, stepped in some mud, came back inside and stepped on Mace's shoe on purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
Mace was like, the lesson that he got from that was like, nobody cares about you saying my bad or yo, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Don't do that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't make the mistake in the first place. I forgot why I brought that up, but
You were
it had
saying
to
that because
do
you
with something.
called and that was her reaction, basically.
Oh
Like, I
yes, I
don't want to
called my
hear.
ex. Yeah, like
Yes.
she's just like nobody wants to hear you were sorry. That's 4 years of my life wasted. Look off my phone. I'm like, oh my god. So closure is a funny thing because what you think is closure when you're talking to this person a week after you broke up, a month after you broke up, it's not. It may get you through some things, but depending on how bad that breakup was, you're far from healed.
Yeah.
Like you probably, even if it's a few sessions, you probably should go talk to somebody just to
Yeah.
get that all out.
Yeah.
Because that closure you think you're getting is not closure. Because they're not even mature enough to give you an analysis of what just happened. They
Yeah.
have to remove themselves and grow. And sometimes you have to get into another relationship to realize how good the last one was, or how bad the last one was.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't even realize how good I had it, or what was I doing over there? But it comes with time a lot. Well, time and knowledge. I don't want to say just time because time does not heal all wounds. Like it can help, but it doesn't heal all wounds. You got to do something within that time to kind of really heal
Uh-oh.
a wound. But yeah, no, I think it was a great choice in song. You got me thinking like I said, I often listen to music, and I got this from Gary Vee. Gary Vee always he said that a lot of things that would motivate him was he would imagine like something very horrific, like something happening to his family and his wife and his kids, and so it just made him appreciate the time more. And I'm like, that's a very dark way to motivate yourself. But in a weird way, I can understand that because sometimes I hear some of these songs, like even when we talked about the Usher song, I Want You Back. I'm not in a position where I need to tell my wife I want her back. I never will be. But I understand that feeling because I've been there before. And it kind of makes me look and say, I'm gonna make sure I'm never in that position again, because I can empathize with somebody having what they want and having to lose that person or make a bad decision, and now you're begging for them to come over, um, by bribing them with folded clothes. Like that's I can empathize with that and say, yeah, I mean, make sure I'm never in that position, because it's easy to get in that position. You can end a relationship with one bad decision. It still says connecting.
Yes. Oh no, it doesn't
Okay.
say connecting. It's connected. Yeah.
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
you're not even on the screen anymore. What the fuck just happened? So this is a solo mission. Well, my hairline is looking decent. Look at that picture. You ever watch The Matrix? There is no spoon. There is no spoon.
Uh-oh.
It's all in your head. You're making it up. Stop making up shit.
How do you? I don't even see the word.
Jasmine, where'd you go? Jasmine, please. Baby, please.
Oh.
We might have lost Jasmine for good. I'm gonna give you to like 52. Let's see. 52. Maybe you text me home. Home to. Jasmine, you can be watching this later. Watching me talk to myself. You got 30 seconds, Jasmine. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Since we're not recording anymore. Ugh. Let's turn off the lights.
All right. I have no idea what's going on.
I was in here talking. I was like, oh my God. I knew he was recording, so I wasn't talking crazy. I was just like, I'm like, I was counting down like, Jasmine, I'm giving you 30 seconds. 30, 29. And I was like, I'm going to turn off the lights since we're not recording anymore. Turn off the lights.
You're having a show by
All right.
yourself. But
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I started acting stupid. I started talking about my picture in the background.
it's 6:30. You said you had to. I don't want you to.
Yeah, I know my wife went and did what I was gonna do, but I'm getting off now anyway. If you somehow wanted to talk tomorrow, I probably could do that too.
Okay. Well, let's try to wrap this up.
I don't know.
You were saying that you're not in a position where you have to like try to get your wife back. You were talking about
Right.
comparing using something dark like loss to make you appreciate what you have.
Stay focused. No, I wasn't trying to say something. I was actually acting out what you were saying. You said I used that negative thing and I said to keep me focused.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing. Sorry, I wasn't trying to talk while you were talking.
Yeah, no, I got that. I think it's the connection that is making us um but yeah, I think one of the things you said is one of the things I want to make sure I say is yes, I agree that you made me think of. Make sure the apology is actually for the other person and not for you. And that closure comes from healing. Doesn't really necessarily come from the conversation can may be helpful and also I think it would be more helpful if it was what you said, which is an authentic inventory, but a lot of times we're not ready for that. But if it was to help you as you move on in a better way, then yeah. But a lot of the times the conversations are not that. They're to get people back or to get your ego fed or whatever it is. But yes, if it was an authentic inventory, if the closure conversation or apology is actually for them and not for your guilt or whatever it might be, and that some people not going to want to hear it. They don't care that you're sorry now or that you understand now. And yeah, like I think in order to have all of that, and it makes sense. You have to process and heal to be able to have a conversation, or at least have enough awareness to how to have a healing conversation. Can you hear me?
The one thing that, yeah, I can't. No, I'm listening to you intently. You've known this for years. I like when you speak, so I'm listening. Um, One thing I'll say, because we talk a lot about the closure and the trying to lure them back over to the, not really apologize, but you're just not done with the relationship. But one thing I will say is, for those people that find themselves in that position, don't be too proud to beg, so to speak. Meaning, um, you can make a decision which is you can have a permanent emotion or feeling and make or you have a temporary emotion, excuse me. You can have an emotion that you only feel right now and make a permanent decision. And so the temporary emotion is to be too cool to apologize or to find a way to get them back to you. But the permanent decision could be you lose them forever. And they move on because they didn't know how much you were sorry. They didn't know how apologetic you were. You know, Jasmine and I may be saying like, "I'm not taking no ex back,"
Oh no,
but that's not true for everyone. That's not
no.
true for everyone.
Because
So
the reason why I say that is because when I've had the not closure conversations, but when I've had conversations, I don't call it closure conversations if I'm telling you why I want to
right,
work on it or why I want to be with you, or I wouldn't call that a closure. I wouldn't try to present that as closure. But if I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
trying to apologize, or I felt like I wanted to be with somebody and it was worth that, I'm not playing around. Like I would, I wouldn't be too cool to say how I feel or say what I want or
right.
apologize. Like, that's why I don't have that issue where I got to present it as closure, but I'm really just trying to entice you. No, like, it's going to be very clear, like, what my,
Baby, please, baby, please,
I'm not going to baby please, but it's going to be like,
please. Baby, please is crazy. My wife begging me. Well, I don't care because if you did something crazy, begging it don't matter. Like I don't care how much you beg.
baby,
Like
please is insane. I've only had
baby,
one
please is crazy.
conversation with somebody where I felt like I need to explain myself and something that happened and try to like rectify. Not that I've never been apologetic for anything, but as far as like wanting to work something out with somebody, that's only happened to me once, as far as like feeling like there's a disconnect or something wrong where I need to explain or try to make amends and heal something with the person. But I wouldn't present that as a closure conversation. So I'm not telling nobody
Right,
not to plead for your ex if you really want your ex. um but
better go get you.
yeah, if you want that, you better go get you better go, I'm,
Get it.
I don't be playing around with who I want, so it's not like I don't have that
I,
issue.
I got one last thing. Sorry, this popped in my head. I and I'll say it. You've already heard it, but that closure thing and calling them over with the items of clothing to lure them over. And the reason I say that last statement about don't be too proud is because I remember my aunt passed away 2 years ago, but I remember one day I went to her house and she had these peonies outside, those flowers, peonies,
You said it right the first
um,
time.
peonies,
I think so.
peonies. They are one of the most fragrant flowers ever. Like you can get near the bush and it's way more fragrant than roses or anything like that. Carnations are pretty smelly, good smelling too, but peonies are like really fragrant. Anyway, she had some in the front of her house, and I had pulled up. This was many years ago, and I told her. She was like, "Oh, why don't you I'm gonna cut some of these peonies for you, so you can take and put them in your bathroom. It'll smell really good." And I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll come get them next week." She was like, "They might not be here next week." I'm like, "What kind of flowers are these? It's only a week." And she was like, "Peonies only grow for like a month out of the year, and if you don't pick them in that 3 week period, then you got to wait a whole another year."
Oh,
And so when I thought of that months later, I thought about that as a great analogy. It's like some opportunities, like peonies, some opportunities are if let's say a lifetime lasted a year, let's say a year was a lifetime. There are some opportunities that if you don't get it in this lifetime, like this, like right now, you'll literally have to wait for another lifetime to experience it again. And so sometimes you can be human and make a mistake, but there's some people that were probably supposed to be in your life, and if you make the wrong move and then they're not in your life, you can spend the rest of your life saying it's not fair, I didn't have my opportunities, but God knows he presented you with one, maybe several. So be aware of that. Even when before you make the mistake, right? You kind of have to say to yourself, like, if I mess this up, I might have to wait another lifetime to have anything near what I have right now.
Yeah.
So let me take advantage of it right now. And my aunt has since passed away, so that means a lot more to me now than ever. So yeah, don't be too proud to beg.
Yeah, especially when you know what you're begging for.
Right.
Yeah.
Value.
Not
We talked about knowing the value.
Not Kehlani though, because she was telling them to get the flowers from her garden. So, because leave that person alone.
She like, I'll take whatever at this point. I'll take whatever.
I'll pay for the dinner if you take me to dinner. Like, no, let them. Not saying you can't pay for things, but you understand what I'm saying. Like,
he realized how good he was. Like, nah, I need this back.
No, it didn't sound like it by the second verse, but okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna listen to him again. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on what's my favorite one. I gravitated to Mario because I had just saw a podcast, Mario talking Greasy, and then I watched that and he started singing. I'm like, yo, Mario is in his bag right now.
Yeah,
so
listen to all of them, and then when you listen to Mario, listen to how Mario sings like he's actually singing along with her and does little things in response to what she's saying. I loved all of them. I love all of them as artists. JoJo, like a lot of people know her, but then people don't. She's a white girl, but I liked her last. I don't know if that was. She just put an album out 2025. That's not the one I'm talking about. The one before that, I listened to that album so much, like so much. But yeah,
I had to check the research a little bit. I was like, who is this white girl? I did not know. I was swiping through to look at what you put. I was like,
she came out a long
I know who
time
JoJo
ago.
is. I just don't know her face.
Oh, okay. You know her, the song she
I just
came
don't
out
know her
with.
face. I know the name for sure. I know a couple of songs, but I was like, who is?
Yeah, she came out a long time ago, and then they put her record label did something where she was out for years, 7 or more years, something like that. She had to kind of sit on ice and then started to make music again, like mixtapes. And like I said, the album she had, I don't know if it was 2023 or 2024. It might have been 2023, but I was listening to that album on repeat. Like, she could sing her little butt off. She could do a little Mariah Carey high bird notes or whatever they call it. But, all right, yeah, go listen and pick a favorite.
I'm already leaning toward Mario because since you started mentioning what he was saying, I'm like, yeah, I can already tell. But again, I'm gonna listen to Tony though. Tony caught my attention maybe because of her beauty though. Like I might have been in guy mode. I probably didn't hear a word she said. I'm like, damn, Tony old as hell. She look fucking great. Not old as hell, but she been out forever. It's just like, yo, she looks really good. Like I did not expect her to jump on this young girl song. She played auntie though. I didn't peep that. She did play the auntie, so she didn't try to. She stayed in her lane, but she was fine enough.
Was in there like
that's what I'm trying to tell you. I was like, who is this? I had to look at my phone. Like, is that Tony Braxton? Like, damn, Tony. I forgot about Tony. Tony used to when she was out. She was one of my favorite. I don't think I really had celebrity crushes, but she was definitely like a top choice.
I love Tony. I have all her albums. I know her songs. That's Babyface's work wife. I like their album together. She has an album with Babyface where they are singing together. The other album she has where he produced and stuff like that, or wrote songs for her. But yeah, Tony's one of my favorite artists. But she has that like sultry, seductive voice. Like her voice, that growl. She has like that low growl.
Yeah, she's definitely a unique voice.
Yeah,
definitely a unique voice.
Okay, have a good rest of your evening.
I'm about to go be daddy.
Go be daddy. Best to have.